Hello, hello. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day and everything is going well. Tonight is a really, really sad one. I mean, they're all sad, but this one takes a whole different level. I missed you guys. I recently came from California and I am back now and I am ready to podcast for you. I really appreciate your comments, your DMs. It means a lot. To pick certain cases, they really have to speak to me. And this one has been speaking to me for a while, but it has a lot to uncover. And I just want to do this person justice. I want to do the family justice because they have not received justice. And I'm warning you, this story will upset you. Absolutely just, I don't know, I cannot get this girl out of my head and I cannot get her family out of my head and just the corruption. And I mean, I don't even know if there's corruption. I mean, there's definitely people that know something. So at the end of the podcast, I will give more information on how you can contact authorities and people who are still, this case is still open, which is awesome. It has not gotten cold yet, but it is the most bizarre case that I have seen in a long time. Tea Time True Crime with Katie. Welcome, welcome. As I said, here is some awesome podcasting crime, and this girl was missing, but she has been found. And this case just goes a whole different direction. And I really want to give people hope. And I probably will say, you know, remember, you're doing better than you think. But even that nice kind of positivity, I don't know. It's just a lot. This really, really upset me. Tonight, hubby made my tea and it looks fabulous. I'm using my black and white mug with beautiful pictures of flowers, some kind of floral arrangement. If you were listening, hi, hello, I'm Katie Brannon and I'm very happy for you guys hanging out. And if you're watching, hello, what's going on? Got good vibes here. I got my neon heart behind me, very strong crystals behind me, and my beautiful dream catcher behind me as well. I'm going to talk about Indigenous women, and I just want to let you know that when I went into this case, there is so many other cases like similar to this, maybe not exactly, but there is definitely foul play, and also, I mean, we don't know, okay, but there is definitely other cases where Indigenous women, Native American women, are getting hurt. They're getting SA'd. They're getting, you know, kidnapped, murdered. And what's crazy is it's only like 6% that's it. Apparently in like Montana, even some in Canada, and you have Wyoming. But, you know, the population for Native American women is very small. So it's very alarming how all of these women, I mean, it's getting like a tiny bit better. People are finally realizing something's happening. The president in 2017, he actually made bills to actually show Indigenous women and to treat Indigenous women cases very, very seriously, like, you know, like human beings. So without further ado, we are going to talk about the bizarre missing and also found of Selena Not Afraid. Selena Not Afraid was only 16 years old when her life was taken away. And there are so many questions. It's unreal. She was born June 18th, 2004, which makes her a Gemini. And she was 5'9", I think like 135 pounds, but really who cares about that? She was very tall, gorgeous, dark eyes, dark hair, loved horses. Horses were her life. And when she was stressed or anything going on, her mother, her grandmother told her the best thing to do was just ride. So her life was horses, her friends, her family, and she was from Bighorn County in Montana. Now, around New Year's in 2019, okay, December 31st, she went with some friends to celebrate New Year's. That's pretty common. I feel like that's what all we do. But tragically, after being with the friends and being missing from a rest stop, she was gone. Now, before I go into how she was found, I'm going to talk about her family history because this I cannot wrap my head around. Now, I know there is such thing as bad luck. I do. I know there is bad karma. I know all that, but this is just so bad, you guys. Excuse me. I can't. Okay. So her parents were Leroy, Not Afraid, and Jackie Big Hair, and they had 5 children. Now, I have to tell you guys, out of all their children, only baby RJ is left. Yeah. 4 out of 5 children are deceased. I don't even want to imagine. I can't even begin to imagine the pain. I can't. It's very weird, even though I will say how they have deceased, but it's just very, very weird to me. I could be a conspiracy theorist. Fine, that's fine. These are my words. I don't even know what to believe, you guys, because it's just too crazy. How are 4 children gone out of 5? Twin sister. She had a twin. Her name was Zoe, and she was only 11 years old, and she took her own life. 11 years old. What? You're a baby. In 2014, after Zoe passed away, 6 people actually received her organs. Now, Zoe unalived herself. Now, they say for extreme bullying, but damn, that's like, now people actually believe that it may be more complicated than that. I'll say, and it just gets sadder. Okay. So, older siblings of Selena was Preston and Tristan. Now, in 2017, Preston actually died at age 23 with a shootout with Billings police officers. Now, I'm trying to read exactly what happened, but they say there was an altercation. Preston was, I guess, driving towards them, or I don't know, but to be shot, or 17 times, that's extreme. That's overkill there. Now, 2018, 22-year-old Tristan was killed by a hit and run. Yeah. So, this poor family has 4 children out of 5. The only one left is baby RJ. Please let me know down in the comments below how you feel about this. I read about the hit and run, and yeah, it's really weird about Tristan. Okay, I have my notes here. So, the Billings Gazette in 2018 reported that police were even asking witnesses to come forward as they continued to investigate the death of 22-year-old Tristan. So, she was struck and killed by a nighttime driver on Highway 3 in July. Black skid marks from vehicle tires were also found in the eastbound lane. 2 vehicles of interest were seen leaving the scene. One was a white 2000s model Yukon or suburban style vehicle, and the other a mid-1980s Chevy truck that was dark in color and was possibly towing a trailer. No suspects have been named, and Tristan's murder remains unsolved. Yeah, I was like, what? I'm sorry, what? So Tristan was with friends at the Rim Rocks. It was a sandstone formations near Billings where, young people like to hang out. Now, after an argument with someone in the car, listen, argument, this is why. This is what really struck me. So after an argument with someone in a car, she started walking, okay? Tristan started walking and was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver. No one has ever been charged, but Horn says the family did its own investigation into the death, and they believe they have pinpointed the person who did it, but they say they're having a hard time getting authorities to act. Now, let me get to Selena because this is freaking weird, okay? So, Selena was only 16 years old, and she went to a New Year's party. Get it? Okay, cool. We've all been there. New Year's. It's a big, big party. So, she was with people, though. And we don't know if Selena was, intoxicated on some kind of drugs, and she didn't realize maybe her body didn't react normally. I've known people who, do drugs at parties and like have a good old time and they don't die, Me, no judgment. I do not do that because my body weirdly reacts in very different ways than other people's body reacts. So maybe that's what happened to Selena. But so what's weird is that she was with like 3 people apparently, and they're driving, she's in the back seat. There actually is Snapchat evidence that there was some kind of weird altercation maybe in the vehicle. Again, we do not know, but we know that the people in the vehicle has very conflicting stories about what happened. Yeah. So apparently after the vehicle broke down by the rest stop, and they tried to, make the vehicle, to just fix it. Sorry. And they thought they fixed it, and then they were scared, like, maybe we didn't fix it. I'm going to go call my mom, and you guys wait here at the bus stop. At the rest stop, okay? Now, she is with this girl, and she's had like quite a few names. She's definitely, it's very weird, you guys. It is shady, shady, shady. Yeah, it's weird. So these people, I guess, because they're minors, you can't really know their identity, okay? But it is pretty shady. So basically, this guy, or these people in the car are kicking the girls out. I don't understand. Why do you kick them out? So where Selena was found, which does not make any sense, she was found like less than a mile from the rest stop, and she was deceased. The authorities said she died of hypothermia, but here's the kicker. The same day they went searching for Selena. They searched and searched. Her whole family actually went out and camped at the rest stop to find their daughter. But it wasn't until 20 days later they found Selena. And she had no marks from, animals or scavengers. She was like weirdly perfectly preserved. It's kind of it's kind of insane. I don't understand it. It sounds familiar because when I talked about, you know, what happened with Tristan, there was an altercation. She walked away. There may have been an altercation with Selena and her friends, and she was so scared that she like walked away. But the two girls got out together. So why did the other one leave the other girl? Now, the guy whose car broke down, he actually called his mom and said, you know, I need you to pick us up. And the mom was like, yeah, of course. All right, I'm picking you up. And she goes and picks him up. And she's like, where's Selena? Where's the other girl? And the girl seemed out of it, you guys. I mean, she literally didn't remember anything. And she had scratches on her legs. Right? Okay, number one, if you're listening to this podcast, you better not leave a friend behind. Like, you do not do that. I don't care if it's hot outside, cold outside, you know, I mean, I did listen to other podcasts. They think that maybe Selena was given some drugs, drinking alcohol, and it just affected her in ways that she wasn't prepared to, and the friends freaked out and they left her. That just, I don't know. It's a really hard story to believe because, okay, if you left her, then she would have still been there. Like, she would have still been there. The police would have found her that day right away. I found out that they had drones out there, like high-powered drones, going around the scene and picking up rabbits and mice, and they couldn't find Selena. It's shady and it's weird. It was also added that it was about 30 degrees when Selena disappeared. It wasn't even freezing. It was kind of like warm. So it's odd how a teenager drifts from a rest stop and dies of exposure, dies of hypothermia. It's very odd. And the girl that she was with will not say anything. And the people involved who were the last to see Selena, not afraid, they have very conflicting stories. And to this day, I've been trying to search, and they moved out. Like, people involved, they moved out of that town. I believe they moved out of the state. So they're definitely hiding something. And I feel like they know way more than what they're telling police. The main thing is that they all have different stories, which, again, very, very suspicious. So with Indigenous people, especially women, just being missing and murdered, MMIW, missing and murdered Indigenous women. When you see MMIW, that's exactly what that means, just to let you know. So I was looking for some kind of, are people trying to do something? You know, what are people like waiting on? I mean, the parents, they're so happy that they have her body and they're, you know, she's going to be laid to rest. But the people of Bighorn, they're pissed. They are so pissed that they just cannot even believe. Like, I found this what someone put on their social media. So let's see. Now it says, if you know any information, please contact Bighorn Country Sheriff, I guess supposed to say County Sheriff's Office, 665-9780. Well, we need an area code, people. I will get to that. Hold on, let me find the area code, okay? The tip line, if you have any information about Selena's case, call again the Bighorn County's Sheriff's Office at 406 665-9800. I know someone knows something. It's just too weird. And I honestly didn't know about the horrible abuse that Indigenous women, Native American women, have been suffering for a long time. It's so bizarre. I do not know why. It seems that like nobody cares. They're not getting the right exposure. They're not getting the right news outlet. It's getting like brushed under the rug, or they're sent somewhere else. It's unreal. And I'm going to mention a movie here that I don't know if you guys seen it. It's a hard watch, but it really showed, they said it wasn't true, but it is true. But I feel like it's some kind of historical fiction. Like I feel like it could have been, because it really talks about the horrible treatment of Native American women, and how it's okay. So the movie is called Wind River, starring Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. It came out in 2017. It is definitely a hard watch. I think I've watched it one time and I still can never forget it. There is definitely SA. It is brutal. And throughout the whole movie, you're trying to figure out, like, how did this girl pass away? Like, what happened to her? And sadly, she ran away. Spoiler alert. But there's more to the story. But it's basically, there's exposure. Like, that's how one of the main women passed, exposure. And it's like, I was like, that's really weird. And then in 2019, Selena Not apparently died of hypothermia. Exposure. It's just odd. And I mean, it's more than just Selena. I don't like the whole family being gone, pretty much. Almost all the children. That is, God, that is so upsetting. And I just send the most positive energy to the families that have been affected from this horrible, horrific, situation. And weirdly, I found some good news about the reporting and for the, the missing women and murdered women of Native Americans. Like, you guys won't believe what I found. I mean, here we go. Now, I do not like to talk about politics, but I do want to talk about this because I had no idea this happened, and I'm going to shed some positivity, because it's not like, I mean, they have been, oh my God, so much wrongdoing to these people for so long. And I'm sure I'm going to do many stories, which is upsetting, but we need to keep people's alive, like be the voice for the voiceless. It's not just me, it's you guys too. It's you guys watching and listening to this podcast. We are all in this together to help people. Okay. So I believe he was the 45th president. Don't kill me. Trump, despite his administration's spotty record, of supporting Native American issues, Trump actually ordered the creation of a task force to address the plight of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. His executive order was signed November 26, 2019, and this task force is called Operation Lady Justice. In 2019, almost 5,600 Indigenous women were reported missing to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's National Crime Information Center. In addition, the National Institute of Justice reports that 84% of Indigenous women experience violence in their lifetime. That is insane. For that, low population of people to experience that. Sorry. Further, advocates say the remarkably high numbers and sobering statistics likely represent undercounts in most official records and reports. Oh man. But the issue has begun to get more attention in recent months, partly due to the election of the first 2 Native American women to the U.S. House of Representatives in the 2018 midterms. Now, if I butcher these names, please forgive me. Representative Deb Haaland, D-NM, and Representative Sharice Davids, D-KS. If I butcher that, forgive me. So they are part of the Trump's task force is to run for 2 years and to be overseen by Attorney General William Barr and Interior Secretary David Bernhardt, part of an aggressive government-wide strategy. The Department of Justice will collaborate with 11 heads of other federal departments to work with tribes and state and local agencies to address reports of MMIW. Operation Lady Justice stakeholders are tasked with developing protocols to apply to new and unsolved cases and create a team to review the cold cases. At this signing, Trump called the scourge of violence facing Native American women and girls sobering and heartbreaking. With Operation Lady Justice, we will bring new hope to Native American communities across the nation. We will deliver justice for the victims, closure for the families, and safely to those in harm's way. Positivity, right? With me reading that, I just want to show there is some hope, because I've just been so sad and so heartbroken what these families had to endure. And I just wish peace and hope. And I was reading interviews about what the families want done in Bighorn. Not only them, but there's many Native American families struggling in Canada, Wyoming, all those states that are like rural, is that when anything happens, give them lawyers, give them educators who want to fight for their cause. And there is a lot of jurisdictions, there's a lot of mess ups, because there's certain people that won't do certain cases because it's not in a jurisdiction. How about we all work together? How about we all help each other? There's a clue. I mean, but apparently you have to do certain rules and bull crap. I'm sorry. If there is a young girl missing, it's unbelievable. So if you guys want to just please just have an open heart, open mind. I found the highlights actually of the bill included. And here we go. I probably butchered many names and I do apologize, but please listen. 502.5 million for Violence Against Women Act prevention and prosecution programs. Funding for research relating to missing and murdered Indigenous girls and violence against Indian women in remote communities that are underserved by law enforcement. 38 million for tribal assistance in state and local law enforcement. 30 million for tribal resources under the Community-Oriented Policing Services, which is Community-Oriented Policing Services, COPS, program, an initiative to increase the number of police officers to train them. $6.5 million for the Bureau of Indian Affairs to look at the issue of MMIW, including funding for work on cold cases, background checks, equipment needs, training, forensic training at the Indian Health Service. Better coordination, data collection, and sharing among tribal, local, state, and federal law enforcement to address and prevent violent crime, and a 5% set aside from the Victims of Crime Act fund for tribes to address services for victims of domestic and sexual violence. So basically, in a nutshell, the bill is trying to say, okay, we see that women are being murdered for no reason and they're being hurt and no one's caring, but I'm telling you, with this bill, we care and we're gonna figure this out. Wow. So I'm very happy that exposure is getting powerful, but as I read some of these articles, there's only like a couple thousand shares. Like, I'm sorry, what? I've been seeing other articles that have millions of shares that are just like stupid clout, celebrity clout. Like, who the heck cares what someone had for breakfast, okay? Who cares? We need to care about our missing women and children. It doesn't even matter where they come from. They're just women and children, okay? They need to be known, they need to be talked about, and they need to be remembered. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. As I said, I am Katie Brannon. Please let me know down in the comments below what you think about this case. Selena Not Afraid was taken way too soon, and so were her brothers and sisters. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching. And please remember, you're doing better than you think. And I am now drinking the hot tea. Trying to guess what it is. Definitely honey. Definitely put a lot of honey this time. I love honey. Probably chamomile. Stay safe. Know I care about you guys so much. If there is a case you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments below. If you are fascinated by true crime, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Until next time, bye guys.